back. My first guest is a Tony Award-winning actor who currently can be seen in The Odd Couple on Broadway at the Brooks Atkinson Theater. Please welcome Nathan Lane. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I know you're a busy man.
Nice to see you.
Nice of you to make time for us.
I didn't know James Lifton was so gangsta.
Yeah. He's got street cred now. He didn't even know he had.
He sure does.
You know, I want to ask you something, because I was thinking about it today. You have an unusual job. I do this show, and there's an audience every day, but they're all civilians, really, for the most part. They're people from everyday walks of life, wonderful people, attractive, they smell nice, but you're doing this show, The Odd Couple, and it's just a staple of doing Broadway. Huge celebrities come to see the show, and you're a big draw. This is good news for you, but I would think, when they tell you before the show that a big star is going to be there, does it make you nervous?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I get you tend to get self-conscious and think about that person watching your performance the whole way through.
You see their face in your mind.
You see them judging, putting on their judgment caps and watching you. And so, like the other night, somebody said to me, do you know that Robert De Niro and Harvey Keitel are here? And I said, no, but thanks for telling me.
Just before you go on,
you know, and I said, and then they said to me, but have you heard the rumor? And I said, no, what's the rumor? And they said, apparently they're thinking about taking over the Odd Couple. Playing Oscar and Felix.
That's a nice double whammy. They're here, and they may want your job.
So not only just watching the show, but just thinking how much better they'll be in the show. And then I just had this image of Robert De Niro as Oscar saying, Felix, did you my wife? Did you my wife? And then the end of the play ends with Felix getting 3 bullets to the back of the head.
This might be a show that
I'm telling you,
people would like.
It would sell a lot of tickets.
Yeah. You know. Now, we're going to move on. You filthy man.
Only the lip readers will.
We'll bleep that. We'll cut away to a whole other show during that. People will wonder why they're watching the Brady Bunch suddenly. I thought I was watching Conan. I'm curious, what made you want to be a performer? Did you know early in your life that this is just what you were meant to do?
You know what I think it was? You're Irish Catholic, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with growing up Catholic. Because, you know, the Catholic Church, in spite of all its problems with sort of being out of touch and sex abuse scandals, but it is a very theatrical religion. It is they know how to put on a good show.
Right. It's true.
Because when I was a kid, it was really my first stage experience. I was an altar boy, and you know, but they have everything. You know, there are costumes. There's a set. There's lighting. There's incense. They do magic tricks. Water into wine.
It really is.
It's like a theological. Let's face it. It
is like
a theological variety show.
Yeah. It is like Cats in many ways.
It's like Cats. And, you know, except for the smell, it's like Cats.
Yeah.
So when I was an altar boy, I had sort of an altar boy's nightmare, which was at the last minute I was once asked to fill in for a high mass, what they call a high mass. And so they threw the cassock at me, and they handed me a large set of bells. And they didn't explain when exactly I should ring the bells.
Because that's at a crucial moment.
You know,
that you ring the bells.
The chalice or a host, and you would ring the bells. And so, out of nervousness, I was just a kid. I was standing behind the priest with about 14 bells on this, and I was the bell ringer. And so, anything he did that looked important to me, I rang the bells. So this, you know, he started to say something, I rang the bell. So at one point, he finally kneels, and he's talking in Latin, and he turns around and says, will you knock it off with those bells? Well, that's the only abuse I had. That's okay. That's okay. Which is probably a blessing.
Yes, nice. Nice to go back there again. Now, what was, there were any other pivotal moments where you thought, okay, this is it?
Yes. The other pivotal moment, I believe, was when I was about 11, and my two brothers took me out. My two older brothers took me out to teach me the fundamentals of football. And so we threw the ball around for about a half an hour, and they would explain things, and they'd make me go out for a long pass. And finally, after about 20 minutes, I said, look, I threw the ball down, and they walked over to me. And with this is my brother Bobby is very fond of telling this story. He said, with great emotion, I said, listen, I am not a sportsman.
Any kid who calls it being a sportsman clearly doesn't want to play sports. I am not a sportster.
Right. So it was, I know, it was like an old 20s movie character.
I am not a ball tosser.
So...
It sounded weird, I'm sorry.
You know, and then a few weeks later, I joined what was a Play of the Month club, and called the Fireside Theater. And the very first play they sent me was a hardcover edition of The Odd Couple, with the pictures of Walter Matthau and Art Carney, and that was sort of the beginnings of my dreams of working in the theater.
I want to ask you something, because you are the expert on musicals, and I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy about this, but the Lord of the Rings musical. Have you been watching it all? Hearing about the Lord of the Rings musical?
Well, I was watching your show, and I saw some of the excerpts, and it's you know, I really like what you've been doing.
Well, we became obsessed with it. There's this Lord of the Rings musical that's up in Toronto. They actually took the Lord of the Rings and turned it into a musical. And terrible reviews, and they've been trying desperately to fix it.
$25 million they spent.
Exactly, yeah. And they're doing everything they can to make the show better. And then we heard that in an effort to make it better, they brought in the people from Moving Out, the Billy Joel songbook musical, and they had them do an interpretation of Lord of the Rings, and we featured it on our show. Take a look.
And the rings messing with my mind. With conflicted doubt, can't help if that's what it does, then I'll throw it out.
Wow. Pretty bad, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know. I like the little guy.
Yeah, he's very good.
I didn't know Danny DeVito could sing.
He's got a lot of family here tonight.
I'm sorry. We kid.
Yeah.
We kid.
Yes, but what do you think? Do you think they have a chance?
You know what? You're right. It was pretty bad. But you know, they can't save that show with modern pop hits.
You don't think so?
No, they got to go back to the Broadway classics.
You think they could save that show by singing Broadway classics?
Yeah. Hey, you folks, do you want to see how I would do a Lord of the Rings musical?
For God's sake.
Thank you, Conan. Your tip will be on the dresser. Okay, here you go, everybody. There's no Baggins like Frodo Baggins, the nephew of Bilbo. Gonna be a Middle-earth sensation. Everyone around is gonna know. Bilbo had a birthday celebration, gave me a gold ring and had to go.
Frodo, take this one ring of power. This is Middle-earth's darkest hour. Put out doom and knock down the tower with the eye on top.
I'll toss this ring into the fire, then I'll haul ass back to the Shire. When there's no more big ugly spire with the eye on top.
I feel precious, oh my precious. Yes, my precious is back in my head. And my precious has a power I cannot withstand.
Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Precious. I said stop it. Precious. Stop it. How precious is back.
By all that's holy, stop it. Nathan, I'm sorry. I regard you as one of the great Broadway performers of all time, but this really sucks. Well,
Gee, Conan, that's easy for you to say. You're just sitting behind the desk. I mean, you haven't seen the big finale yet. Hit it, Max!
evil tower.